I'm in the mood to sketch. So let's sketch. This is a really cool sketchbook. They're not expensive, but they look expensive. And look, it has a key. Look at that. Let me see if I can see myself. Yeah, there I am. It has a key. Maybe there is a key that unlocks the journey so that you can be successful. I don't think so. Okay, so again, the whole theme of the sketchbook series is there's only one way to be successful. Learn, practice, learn, apply, fail, wash, repeat. It hasn't changed. Okay, so gimmicks are fun though. Oh, they're cute. The magic pen. Okay, so here's this key. I don't know why it's there. It just slips in. It's kind of fun. But these sketchbooks, they look expensive, but they're really not. So one of the things I like to do is go through old sketchbooks. This one's been around for a while, and just glance and see the improvement and the failure. So this one, back then it was probably a good painting, but hopefully I've advanced a bit. This was just studying color, a piece of junk. Blank paper, because I'm going to do watercolor on it. This color blue is pretty wild. This was back in my white marker phase. It's kind of fun. This is just white marker instead of the white chalk. Yeah, it kind of worked. It was all right. So this is white chalk and white. It's these opaque white markers. Yeah, it was fun. I don't know. The phase. Charcoal and gouache. Yeah, it was all right. This drawing needs to be worked on some more. We're going to work on this one. Okay, I want to finish this one, so we'll come back to it. This section here was cool. So you'll see a lot of this. It was kind of like going right back into the old Renaissance. It's really fun. So a lot of these were from the Getty, but these are models I recognize from my collection. I was just lucky that my models would let me take pictures of them. You don't want to take pictures of models, not a good thing. But I'm really old and I've been doing this a long time, and the models trust me, and we're buddies. This was from the Getty. It's just, I'm kind of messing with the medium. When you're having trouble with the medium, the drawings are going to fall apart. So, in Hollywood, we only have 3 brain cells. So, at any given time, you got to use less than that. So, you want to try to have them all working at the same time to try to benefit. Not a great drawing. This is all right. The Getty. No, kept working it. And then all of a sudden, hey, digested a rat. There you go. So now I like this drawing because it's consistent, and it flows, and it's consistent where I'm using the red. So that's good. I like it. This one was okay, but I'm like, ooh, I can use that. So I have the black on this gray with the white, and then a little bit of, terracotta Prismacolor. Well, we're getting somewhere. That's kind of fun. Same thing. So now we're playing with the medium, see? So here we go. Playing with the style. Same thing with this. This drawing, this works. It's a nice flow. It's just all about the wave. It's in the videos. Just go to the videos. Just look for the fundamentals. Look for the wave. There's tons of them. You want a drawing to be alive? Don't wait for a good day. Don't wait for the great God above to shine upon you. Just draw with the wave. Use the wave to the cool, and the drawing will be alive. Okay. All right, here we go. That was kind of fun. This is another fun section. See? Because it's kind of old looking. So now you're down another one of those dark roads, that Dorothy had to walk down. So once you get to a new technique, a new medium, it kind of messes you up again. So you gotta be scary walking down that road. See, here I'm playing with that marker. It doesn't really work. Gouache, here we go. This takes the gouache. So this is really cool. See, it was a long time ago. Nothing special. And then we move to this section here. Start all over again. Drawings get stiff. Try to loosen up. Again, using that marker. Let's go back to that other one. What I'm going to do is just kind of pound into it and see what I can do. So I got that. I'm going to go for reference. Go to this little box and see if there's a painting that I like or some color. Here's a photo. Yeah, it's okay. I'll use it. So I'll just do a screen capture and bring it down to the bottom. Let's see what else. This one's kind of cool. I don't know who it is, but it's kind of a cool painting. Yeah, let's use that. Okay, so we have that. The paint I'm going to use, I bought it at Barnes & Noble. Oh, not Barnes & Noble. I bought it at the Getty. Royal Nickel, it's kind of a fun brand. You know, it's kind of a toy, but it's kind of fun. I got these cups. They were donated, and so I use them for water. They're coffee cups, but man, they really work for water. And they don't fall, you see, because they're bigger on the bottom. And that's why I don't fall, because I'm bigger on the bottom. Okay, so here we go. Yeah, I think, you know, most people my age are worried about falling, but they just have to eat more chocolate and get bigger on the bottom. Plus, because my body is surrounded by this much chocolate, when I do fall, I'm cushioned. So this is the watercolor part of this set. It's pretty cool. I mean, it's not bad. What I did is I put in a bunch of gouache and had some fun. This is water. And what I did is spray the water to kind of just loosen it up a bit. And what I did is just took different brands. It's all cheap. There's really nothing in here that's real expensive. This was some good gouache because it dried out, and so I put it in there. Same with this. It's all dried out. So let's get these onto the bottom. So what do we have? We have this, and then this was taken from a redhead Instagram. So they have ones for that. So I grabbed that. You want to get a lot of scrap on pretty girls, because the way I was taught by the old illustrators is learn to draw pretty girls and then just chisel and you have good looking guys. So it works pretty well. So that was a good looking model. I don't know who she is, and it doesn't matter, but she was from Instagram, so I'm thinking that there's no real issue because she put her face on Instagram. Okay, here we go. Let's have some fun. So the light's actually coming, well, on here it's coming this way, so let's do that. So we'll grab a kind of a neutral color. Let's see. Can go with we got green. Where'd the brown go? It's over here. So it's kind of just schmutzy. Got some cerulean. And I want to just knock in these planes. So I want to finish this painting. Now the thing about painting is you want to keep your edges, keep your shapes open. So that means keep your edges open. And I kind of like to think of just temperature, which I got from Schmidt's book, his book on painting. He says just kind of focuses on temperature. So light's coming this way, and I just pretend my brush is the light, and then I just hit the planes like that. See? So it's kind of a physical thing. And I'm just looking for the planes, and then we can cool it here. And this is a super cheap Royal Nickel brush. They're really, really cheap. I've got brushes on my shelf that blow you guys away. I mean, they're like, really, really beautiful brushes. And I'm finding myself loving these cheap brushes. I'm just having a good time with them. So I like the brand Royal Nickel. I think it's fine. And I kind of enjoying their brushes too. Like this one here. Look at this. It's constantly at a point. It's really fun. So, having a good time. Yeah, if you want to hate me, some people like to do that. Hate me because I'm happy. I'm really happy. There we go. So this is top side square face. So let's go to the top. You know, I've never seen that show really, but they always sing it. You know, the kids like it, so I stole it. Top side square face. Okay, so let's go kind of warm on the top here in the nose. So we go top. See, I don't have those lights on. Does it look? Yeah, it looks pretty good. Yeah, not a lot of light. It's good. Maybe we shouldn't use as much light. Top, side, square, and then warm for the face. Face, top, side, square, face. Top, side, square, face. And the square part can be a little bit darker. There you go. Top, side, square, face. So if you haven't already guessed, what we're doing in these videos is we're just putting out all the secrets. As many as I know. But I've been very lucky to study and work with the best. So, and I am a student first. So this comes from watching the background painters. I got promoted to background painting. I was so excited because I love to paint. And back in those days, if you left your department, you had to kind of reapply to get back into it. And they weren't, the other teachers weren't, I mean, not teachers, but the department heads, you know, they didn't want you leaving their department. So if they found out you were going to leave, they would call the other department and kind of threaten them a little bit. And I don't blame them. You know, each department's got to get their production done. So I worked with Ann Gunther. We get a break at 10:30, 12:30, and 3:30. So 12:30, of course, everybody goes to lunch. But that 10:30 break, I would just run down the stairs like a little kid to the background department, and she'd be waiting for me, and she taught me, and I studied. I was like a little kid in a candy store, and everything she taught me, I studied. Ann Gunther was not only one of the best talents, but one of the greatest people. I loved her, and I guess she saw that I was a good student. I finally got to the point where Irv, the background painter supervisor, agreed to let me into the department. And the one thing that my animation teacher taught me when I was a kid was how to read a studio. And I do that with the students, I do it with people. I don't know, maybe it wasn't so much him, maybe it was just me, that you just kind of know how to read people, but also read a studio. And what I did is it didn't feel right. It just didn't feel right. So I turned it down. It was one of the hardest decisions. Family. Family's first. You want to survive in the animation industry? Put your family first. So I turned it down. And a couple weeks later, they laid off most of the department. So I would have been the first to go because I would have been the last in, and I'd be, you know, new. And my entire background painting career would have lasted about 2 weeks. I wouldn't have had any history to use to get into another studio, and then I would have had to beg my way back into cleanup. So that was my background, but boy did I learn. Ooh. So I can still apply it. So I'm putting reflected light in here. See, I had a core shadow, but I have Annie's voice in my head all the time. I can see her in my mind, and I worship her. I thank her. She's not with us anymore, but I still love her. So let me go. I haven't been in the studio for a while, but if any of the young people want to know what it was like back in the olden days, people were nice, and they helped you. Everybody helped everybody. I was meeting my wife's family for the first time, getting married, and this one guy, he's not with us anymore, but he's an accountant, his family member. He goes, "What do you do for a living? What do you do for a living?" And finally I said kind of loud, "I'm an animator. I work on cartoons." And this couple walked up to me and they go, "Are you really an animator?" I said, "Yeah, why?" They go, "We've been trying to break into that field for a really long time, and nobody will talk to us." And I said, "Well, I would love to talk to you, but we're going out for the day." We drove to San Diego to visit them. They flew in from New York, these people. So, here I'm meeting the family. And we're just walking out of the hotel. They said, "Will you be coming back?" I said, "Of course." They said, "Would you talk to us when you come back?" I said, "Yeah, if you're here." They actually had somebody sit in that lobby the entire day until we came back. I was blown away. So I sat down with them at a table and I walked them through the entire process. How to study, what to learn, how the union works, how the industry works. And this family member goes, "Who are you?" He said, "I've never seen that before." He goes, "You're a really nice guy." And I said, "Well, I'm marrying your family member, So I've never not stopped to help somebody because that's how I got where I'm at, and that's what I believe. So the people in the olden days, they were nice people. They worked hard to get to where they're at, and they were mentored, and they paid it back. I don't know what happened to my burnt sienna. This thing got all chopped up, so maybe that's it. Okay, so people were nice. I was a studio wanderer. My boss would call me in. She said, "You were seen on the 3rd floor or the 4th floor today." I said, "You're wrong. I was on the 1st floor, 2nd floor, 3rd floor, 4th floor, 5th floor." I wandered and I learned. I'm friendly with everybody, and "Can you show me how you do that?" And I studied. And then I would come back and show them what I did. And they'd say, "Oh, yeah, it looks good, but really should do it this way." "Oh, show me. That's how I learned, because, I didn't get to go to the college degree route, so I went the way it's always been for me, which is mentoring. It worked. So see, I'm thinking temperature. I just wanted to finish this painting. Okay. Let's see. The question is, do I talk a lot? Yeah, if there's someone to talk to. What if there's someone to talk to and does that mean I talk all day long if they're there all day long? No, because eventually I'm going to say, hey, I got to get back to work. You know, I'll catch you later. So I kind of time it. I'm just having fun with this brush. Okay, top, side, we're going to put a core. I'm just looking for temperature, but I haven't used this one for a while, this paint. I got to put some burnt sienna in there. Because I'm not going to carry it around. This, I messed up. This is like got silicone in it, so the paint's not staying in there. So I think this is burnt sienna. It feels like it. And then I'll just add anything dark to it to kind of kill it back. I can add some green to it. So warm, kind of a warmy, and that's your core. And it's like a sculpture. I'm just sculpting. This is called exhausting the brush. So what you want to do is whatever you have on the brush, just use it as many places as you can before you reload the brush. So it's kind of looking like a guy because I have it's chiseled. So maybe we go with that. Maybe it's a guy. But then I'd have to cool everything down here. So what we can do is make it more feminine by finding some dark color. Now she's got a chiseled face, so she'd be very easy to convert over. Let's go like this. This might be a guy. So get rid of the chisel. Get rid of that huge squared off chin. Let's see if we can find a pretty girl in my scrap. These are all models from one of the model reference sites. This is cool. So what I'm going to do is grab just the face. See? So now you can see that she's more, it's more soft. Just makeup, more sculpting. This edge. She needs an ear, so we'll grab. Wash dries fast. I can hear the question. Do you use the gouache we squirt out? Yeah, of course. Not now. I did when I was with Fred Fixler's class, you know. I do with acrylic. Although I have this thing down here which keeps the acrylic wet. But watercolor and gouache I like it dry because I'm being very careful with how much, you know, I'm not too crazy with the paint. Okay, here we go. She needs a long neck. Okay, so let's see. This gray down here also will make her look more like a guy, so let's warm that up. So the lesson, if there is one, behind what we're doing here is that when you're working professionally, you need to be able to fix things. So a lot of your value is going to be, you know, whether you can fix, and they call it that. You know, so, you know, the fact that I can go in there and into a sketchbook that's been for a while and then fix it will help you on the job, because you're going to be fixing either your own work or somebody else's work. Light's going to come down there. Well, let's give her more of a fun pushed up nose. Like that. Chisel right there. Bam. There we go. Be a little more feminine. Now remember, I'm just sketching. So this is where you experiment, this is where you learn, this is where you try everything. And I was supposed to turn off these lights and turn on those lights. So it seems to be working. So, you know, this is the safe time right now because you're in a sketchbook. So this is where you want to really screw things up. And then when it's time to be on, you know, when you're working, you know, then you've already gotten all this done. You know, you kind of got it out of your system, you might say. And then you can just sit down and do the painting. Nobody ever gives you projects and say, take your time. I'm waiting for a big one to come in any day. It's like it's supposed to be here. And I've already done the first draft. And I'm looking at I'm thinking 80 to 100 hours. So why don't they, you know, just give me the notes so I can get started on it. But they have to get what they're working on. You know, make sure they have what they need for me to do. And it's just this constant, you know, domino. And it just never changes. It never stops. So, you know, if you're working as a professional artist, you're never going to have time. I'm just putting the brush strokes down on the rhythm chart. I was at the Getty, and this woman came up to me and she said, "Your work should be on the wall." And I said, "Yeah, but then I'd be dead." She just laughed and walked. So it's like just sketching, but she liked it. There we go. It's starting to come together. Those edges. There we go. Starting to look a little bit more feminine. Okay, let's open up the nose a bit. And you just keep working it. That's all. Use some green. Turn the planes. Reflected light, reflected light. I'm going to add some burnt sienna. I think that is burnt sienna right there. So the reference I'm using, I don't just use one photo. If I do a portrait, I have lots of photos of the person. It's not just from one. So I'm never copying. Okay. Yeah, it's starting to come together. Doesn't have to be finished. It's in a sketchbook. So, light's coming this way. It's got to come this way. I changed it. There's like a little step for the lips right there. Oops. Hello. See, gotta learn to fix. Now, step right there. There we go. Right there. So this is forced perspective. So even though this is the light side and it's turning here, you know, it's away from you, so you can make everything a little fuzzier and, you know, kind of atmospheric perspective. So you know, you're pushing it, even though you wouldn't have atmospheric, that much perspective from one side of the face to the other. You can do it in a portrait. All right. So we took a painting from, you know, something that wasn't finished, it was just a sketch, and then just took it to the next level. That's why God invented the sketchbook. The great art God above. Okay? We'll be drawing in this book quite a bit because I've been kind of waiting for that really, you know, cool event because it was given to me as a gift from my daughter, and it's real special. But I really like it, so we'll use it. We'll start using it again. But I have a lot more on the floor over there and on the shelves. Study, practice, study, practice while you're studying. then all day long, just be sketching, not overly pushing any kind of serious brain waves. Just always scribbling and sketching, and you'll do fine. Okay, we'll see you guys later.